Hi, Hirsch Shah here, reporting from Auckland, New Zealand. And at first, I was actually thinking whether or not I should even post up this video. Of course, not absolutely everything I think of or talk about, I end up posting up. Just really the things which I think are worth posting up. But this is a bit of an interesting video, and it's actually based on a plan I made a few years back, when I was sort of considering my living situation. And it was just basically about how I could live extremely cheaply, but obviously not negatively impact my health and overall well-being. And of course, there are obvious ways to live very, very cheaply. You just simply say live with your parents, or perhaps you live with your parents, and if they want you to pay rent, instead of paying rent, you do some housework, and that's how you end up not having to pay rent because you do housework instead, and the housework is also good exercise. That there are things like that. You could even do the same with living with a friend, or perhaps even possibly even flatting. I'm not sure if that would actually work, but maybe in some cases it would if you did a certain amount of housework. I guess that could work, but say if you can't, if that's not really an option for you, or if you can't just sort of live with a friend or with your parents for free, how can you really live at absolutely bottom, very low cost? And don't forget, there's the very first talk video I made, 5 ways to easily save money. So there is that. Don't forget, there's that to utilize. But just in general, I remember thinking of how I could do it, because I was actually thinking of doing that. And say if I basically had just a car or a van, how could I pretty much just live out of that, virtually free, if you like, or very, very low cost? And I guess with the car, if you have a car, you can, in fact, sometimes if it can fit, you can buy say a single mattress to put in the back seat to sleep on. And I know I've seen online certain mattresses tailor made to fit in the back seats of cars. If you have a van, obviously you can definitely fit in a single mattress and comfortably sleep on that. So that's in terms of, say, sleeping. If you only have a car, or say a van would probably be better. And of course, you park it in a place where you can park for free, like maybe at a park, or on the streets in suburbia outside the main CBD, outside the fringes, where you've got free parking. That's where you park it, for example. And I remember also thinking that in terms of the stuff you have, you either minimize your stuff, get rid of stuff you don't need, which is probably, let's be honest, a lot of it. Watch one of those minimalist programs. They're absolutely inspiring. That's actually one of the things I did during lockdown back in 2020, when COVID was pretty crazy and we were confined to our houses for weeks and weeks. That's actually one of the things I did. I decluttered and I got rid of a lot of stuff. And it seems like every time I go through all my stuff, I find you know more stuff that I can get rid of, because to be completely honest, most of it is just I keep for just sentimental reasons. But in terms of the stuff I actually use, the clothes that I use, things like the appliances that I use, like my phone and laptop and all that. So, in terms of the things that I actually use, it's not a lot. It probably all could fit, honestly, in the boot of a car, certainly in a van. So that's another idea. You really minimize the stuff you have so it fits in your van or car, and then you sleep there as well. Probably a van, I think, is a much, much better choice, because you just have the room for everything. Another option, which is still very cheap, is that if you do have a certain amount of stuff, you can always put it, say, in a storage locker, at a very, very cheap rent. So that's another option. But say you manage to declutter, so you've got very little stuff, and it all fits, say, in a van. A van, I think, is a much better choice, and it fits in the back of the van, but there's still space to, have a single mattress you can sleep on. Well, that's where you keep your stuff, and that's where you sleep. In terms of eating and using the bathroom, going to the bathroom, showering, getting ready in the morning, I remember having the idea, and I thought, oh my God, that's brilliant. What do? You just join a gym. Just join a gym. Obviously, at the gym you can exercise, but at the gym you can also, that's where you can take a shower. That's where you can prep up yourself in the bathroom. That's where you can get changed and things. So that's a bit of an idea. So you join a gym, so you use the gym for exercising, as well as your bathroom, while you basically live in the van or the car, if you can actually make that work. Some churches, believe it or not, will actually allow you to use their bathrooms, even their kitchens as well, basically for free. Some churches will, and some religious institutions are, so good to everyone, that they'll actually even allow you to pretty much live there for free ongoing. I mean, what I would do is, if you have that option, you can actually use the churches. Yes, you could use them just like the gym, for the bathroom and all that. But I guess one good thing with a church is that you can use them for both a kitchen and a bathroom. You can have your a bit of your own food, or you can, and you can take it. You can maybe even keep it in the kitchen at the church, and maybe just. I would say what I personally do is, give something back just to show your appreciation, like a small token donation of maybe, I don't know, maybe $5 or $10 a day, something like that, just to show your appreciation for them letting you use their kitchen facilities, maybe even letting you keep your food there, so that's one thing. You could use a church for your kitchen and bathroom, maybe at a very low cost, or you could use a gym for your bathroom, and I guess possibly eat out if you want. I would say probably better choices eat out sometimes, but have some basic food, and probably when we look at it, probably the church is a better option if that is an option there. Otherwise, I guess there's the gym, which is secondary. So, there's just some ideas floating around if you really, really wanted to live cheap. And then, of course, you sleep in the van and you keep your stuff in the van. Sometimes, if you can go couch surfing to actually have a proper roof over your head. You can even do house sitting. Couch surfing is free. House sitting, you don't have to pay for it. You don't get paid either, but at least you don't have to pay for it. That's another idea. But obviously, I'm not sure. It'd probably be quite hard to make your timetable align perfectly. So every single night, you've got a couch that you can sleep on or a house that you are sitting. I mean, that might be a bit difficult. But say on the nights that you don't, you could sleep in your van, your stuff is in your van, and like I say, use the gym or possibly something like the church for your kitchen and bathroom facilities. And especially if you're in a city which, all these places are fairly close to each other, like say in the same suburb or locality, then that obviously really helps. And believe it or not, you can still work a full time job. So, you could work a full time job, live on very little cost, and end up saving a lot of money. And you might have a plan of, say, living on this cheap or living on the cheap for, say, a year or two, and then perhaps in that time saving enough money for a deposit on a property, or perhaps saving enough money to move overseas or travel overseas, or perhaps even start a business and then work in that business. There are many things you can do, or even you just want to save a bit of a buffer so you always have that buffer. But yeah, it's just something I remember thinking about quite a lot some time back. I never put it into practice, and hopefully I never have to. But just I thought, since I put a lot of planning and thought into it, why not share it here? You never know, someone might come across this video and think, oh, I think I could actually make that work. Of course, it won't be a party, it won't exactly be very comfortable, but certainly it would be character building. It would be a bit of a story to tell, it would be an experience. And hey, I could live very, very cheaply and save quite a bit of money, which I could put to better use later on. Well, hopefully it helps at least one person out there. Thank you.